Eh bien bonjour boys and girls, my name is DT, I'm a paper designer and welcome to my workshop. And today, again, I'm going to talk to you guys about a really special project of mine. As you guys know, I went to Comic-Con Liverpool a few days ago where I was able to meet one of my childhood heroes, Peter Cullen, aka the voice of Optimus Prime. I made him an homage piece to celebrate my love for the character, and I made a whole video talking about that you can find in the description below. But today, we are not here to talk about Optimus Prime, we are here to talk about Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. Smorfing time! Anyway, I grew up in the 90s and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was my show. Like every stupid kid from that time, I would wake up every Saturday morning with a bowl of cereals watching that show religiously. I was a big Power Rangers fan. I actually remember my parents buying me so many Power Rangers toys, especially those where you would squeeze the legs and the head would flip.
This is Zordon. It's transforming time.
I really love those toys for some reason. But one day, my parents actually decided to send my whole Power Ranger toy collections away to some kids that were less fortunate than I was, without telling me. Still hurts today. Anyway, all of that to tell you boys and gals that I love the Power Rangers growing up. And that's why I was super excited to learn that Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, was going to come at Liverpool Comic Con. And you know me, I had to do something about that.
So the plan for the project was to make a power coin, the coin that is inside the Rangers Morphers. Here you have the coins for the 5 original Rangers: Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Saber-toothed Tiger, and the T-Rex. But the two that we're going to take a closer look at are the Dragon coin and the White Tiger coin. As usual, I start with a reference image and then model the coin. So the White Tiger is done, and so is the Dragon. Now I just have to flip this one and fuse the two together. Now one side is Dragon and the other one is Tiger. Now that my templates are printed and scored, I can now cut them. Okay, so everything's been cut, so I can now start the assembly. And for this build, I'm using some regular white PVA glue. I just apply a thin amount on the tab before I glue the two pieces together. I also like to use some tweezers to help me hold the pressure on the paper, so this way I can be more precise. And the Dragon side of the coin is now complete. Nothing too complicated, I just had to make sure that I take my time. The Tiger side, on the other hand, was a bit trickier to build. The tabs were sometimes a lot smaller, sometimes less than a millimeter wide, and there were more pieces to glue. And this is when using tweezers becomes a necessity. Now the two sides are completed, so I essentially just have to merge them together. And for longer tabs like these, I like to use a flat tool like this one that I would put on the inside of the coin. So this way I have something to put pressure on without crushing the paper. And the coin is now done. The Tiger side was definitely trickier to build, but I think it came out pretty nice. Now I'm moving on to the base, where I'm drilling a hole in the center. I'm gonna put the coin on a metal stick, but first, I'm gonna use a wooden stick to get the right measurements. So here's the size I ended up with, that I used as a guide to cut the metal road. So this way, I'm sure the coin is not going to go anywhere. And now we're moving on to the next step that's going to be particularly exciting, because we're going to slap some gold onto that baby. This is a Miction, which is essentially a type of glue that I'm going to cover the coin with. This is a special type of glue that you use when you're covering stuff with gold leaf or any metal leaf. So all I have to do now is to cover the whole thing. Depending on the type of glue you're using, the time before you can actually start to work with the gold can change. And with the one I'm using, I'm going to wait at least an hour before I move on to the next step. Gold leaf is essentially gold that's been flattened out until it's super thin, so it's also super light. Working with these requires to be really delicate and you don't want to rush the process. If you breathe out too hard, you can actually send the thing flying away. And here I'm just using a small brush to apply the gold onto the coin.
Matter of fact, you should take 4B and think before you pick a little skateboard B. When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
As I said, gilding requires a lot of patience and delicacy, but in a different way than you have to have when you are working with paper. When I'm working with gold, my mind is super sharp and I'm really focused on what I'm doing. And I'm really loving the results so far. I'm gonna have to come back on a few spots that I missed though, probably when I was applying the glue. Otherwise, I think we're done.
It's actually been a while since I've worked with gold leaf, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But I have to say, I'm actually a really big fan of the technique because I really think it helps making your pieces pop. And let's face it, who doesn't love gold? Gold. Anyway, well, it's actually time for me to pack my things and go deliver this golden lollipop to its new daddy.
Hi, how are you? Good? I have a gift for you first.
A gift?
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of yours, so I just wanted to give you something. I'm a paper designer, so I made a paper sculpture for you. Yeah, it's intriguing. It's actually a dragon and tiger coin made out of paper. And I actually put
So cool, dude.
some
That is dope.
gold
Yeah.
leaf on that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
This is 23 karat gold leaf too.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
Dang. I really like that.
I'm glad you enjoyed
Super
that.
cool, man. Heck yeah, and I can bring it back in this too.
Yeah,
I'll pick a
everything
packet
so
right
you
on
can
my
pack
back.
everything. I tried to make it
Perfect,
small so it
man.
would fit into your luggage.
Wow, that's great, man. Love it. Do you have a Instagram and all
Yeah,
that?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'll get the card. I'm gonna take the video and then
I have the
I'm
card
gonna
and everything,
post it
and my,
after.
yeah, everything. So how have you been enjoying the con so far?
It's good, man. I'll take better videos later, but that's
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
Let's take a picture. Yeah. You made it. Green Ranger to the White Ranger.
Do you mind if we take a picture
Yeah, sure,
together?
whatever you want, man.
Prendre une photo? I'm making a green and white ranger out of paper. Oh, thanks.
You are, huh? We'll sign that too.
It's really nice of you,
What was
actually.
your first name?
David,
David. No, are you kidding? Taking the time to make that?
do you mind signing one for a friend of mine?
Yeah, sure,
She's
man.
a really big fan of yours and she couldn't make
Yeah.
it today.
What's your name?
Laura,
Laura? Where is she at?
Canada.
Canada. Alright. Appreciate you, man. You sign this too?
Yeah.
So what is this? You're making?
I'm actually making a green and white ranger kind of made out of paper too. You know, like that. But I couldn't bring it because I live in France, so in the plane it was kind of tricky. So that's the visor.
Oh, it's the visor.
I should grab you.
So sign it across here?
Yeah. You can start signing right there. Really nice.
C'est au bon sens?
Right.
So it's just gonna be that part, yeah? This ain't a visor.
Yeah, you can write it's morphing time if you want or something.
How about a kanji? This means karate,
Yeah, so
Maybe.
sweet.
the way. Sorry, Mike. the
So
way
what
of
does it
life.
mean?
This is karate.
Yeah.
Karate, and that means do. Do means the way.
The
So
way.
Karate do, empty hand, the way of empty hand,
Oh,
the way of
that's-
karate,
that's
the
so
way of
sweet,
life.
man.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
sweet.
what's up, bro.
That's really nice.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you actually taking time to talk to people.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
That's really
you.
nice.
Shake your hand.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
It's the
it.
box, I'll give you the box, right?
Thank you.
I was so afraid actually to not be able to actually make it because I finished that maybe 2 days before the con.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
didn't
do
sleep
a lot
much.
of different stuff, huh? A lot of different things.
I'm a paper artist actually. I make a lot of paper sculptures,
That's crazy.
and I wanted to do something, you know, to show my love
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
character and the whole franchise.
Super cool, man.
So
Appreciate you, bro.
that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, bud.
Have a nice day.
Pretty
Now
cool.
come.
Thank you. I'll post
Thank
it on
you.
the gram too.
Thank you. That's really nice of you.
Thank you.
So as you guys saw, Jason David Frank is actually a really cool dude. He was really chill and nice, not just to me but to everyone in the queue. And you could tell he genuinely cares about the character, the franchise, and his fans. I was actually really surprised to see how friendly he was and how easy it was to talk to him. I think I stayed with him for like 5 minutes. He accepted to take a picture with me without hesitating, because I know that at convention like that, other guests might actually ask you to pay to get a selfie with them. because there is also an option where you get to pay to get a professional photo taken with the guest. But again, he was really nice. He actually offered to take pictures again with and without the glass bubble to avoid the glare. And on top of that, he actually gave me and signed those 2 prints for me, which is really great because, again, at those conventions, you don't really know if you are able to sign one or several items. It really depends on the guest. And initially, that wasn't even what I wanted to get signed. I actually wanted him to sign this. So initially, I asked him to sign on this side, and he signed it with his name and with Tommy, the name of his character. And then he saw there was an empty space on the other side, and he signed it with a kanji, which means the way of the empty hand. So you might be thinking, why did I get this black piece of paper signed? Well, this is going to be part of an upcoming project I'm going to talk to you guys about in a few weeks. So just to leave you guys with a quick teaser, I am going to be making a green/white Ranger hybrid helmet with gold and silver. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you'd like to see me build next time. You can join us on Facebook and Instagram, and until then, I will see you in the next workshop. Go! It's morphing time!